Hey everyone, Kyle once again. Um, next review, which I'm really gonna enjoy doing. Well, I would say it's my second I'm gonna say my second all-time favorite horror film, John Carpenter's Halloween. Yes, this is my second, even though it's my second favorite film of all time, but I still love this film. This is the 25th anniversary edition. Even though recently, they came out with a 35th anniversary edition recently. But it was only from what I saw, it was only on Blu-ray, so I couldn't find the regular DVD of it. So, but for me, I'll just stick the 25th anniversary edition because I think it's pretty much has all the stuff I have, from mostly what the 35th one's gonna have though. So yeah. So John Carpenter's Halloween with good old Michael Myers. Like I said, John Carpenter directed it. I love John Carpenter. I love pretty much all his films except for a few, though. Produced by Deborah Hill, who's produced on some of his films too. Stars, the late Donald Pleasance. May rest in peace, Donald Pleasance. I miss him. Jamie Lee Curtis too, which was I do believe this was her first film too, I think. And of course, you got another thing with this film is mostly famous for is from the music. As John Carpenter, he did himself. And it is one of the most classic music scores of all time, especially in the horror industry. So it was released October 25th, 1978, around the Halloween time, and it was also a really low budget film too. So like a $325,000 budget. And at the time, it was also, it was very successful. And I think I'm not sure the exact how much it was, but from reading on Wikipedia, which like I said before, not entirely true and everything, I'm just gonna read it. It says I believe 70 million. It could be more. It could be more money though, but I've seen lots of things on what different types of how much money it made. So, but it doesn't really matter because overall this film was a really big hit, And I believe at the time when it came out, I think it was critics who I think it was critics. I remember around at the time while watching it on TV, there was a documentary on this film. I think at the time the critics they thought it was they took it down for a bit when it came out, But I could be wrong though, because it was a long time, so I couldn't remember though. But everybody liked it. But everybody loved it, The fans loved it, It was really scary, Has a 94% on Rotten Tomatoes, which I believe is fantastic. I know it has a really high rating on Rotten Tomatoes. I'm at IMDb. Has 7.9 on 7.9 on IMDb, which is really good. That is really high for this film, which it does deserve, because this is one of the most classic horror films of all time, especially and also in movie history. This came out. There's also a 70s film, like same. Well, 4 years after 1974, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So that in this film, and including the Exorcist, what I believe was the most one of those classic horror films of that time, Well, also we got 1978. It was also 1978. Also, two other horror films came out before Halloween, where it was Jaws 2 and the original Dawn of the Dead. So yeah, 3 great horror films from 1978 came out. So, but John Carpenter's Halloween, like I said, the music, love the music, which John Carpenter did himself. If anyone doesn't know who the classic Halloween theme is, I don't know where that per where what who I don't know where that person's been. To me, who has not ever seen Halloween. Dun 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 dun. So, it was critically acclaimed. It was a huge success, especially on a low budget. So let's get into so I said Michael Myers. Out of all of them, like Freddy, Jason, Michael Myers has always been my favorite because the reason is because ever since I was a little kid, I saw this film and it completely scared me. This film gave me nightmares. I'm pretty sure every single person who has a scary movie when they saw it when they were a little kid, that was like the scariest movie for them. This was for me. This was the scary. Even though it's my second all-time favorite horror film, but I would say this was the scariest film I've seen. I also say this, and ever since I was a little kid, it scared me when I was a kid and gave me nightmares. I'm not that way anymore though, but I'm saying. So, man, my back. Sorry about that. But so let's get into Michael Myers' story. So it starts on Halloween night on 1963, where you see Michael Myers from his point of view. He's walking to his house. Sees his sister and his boyfriend. They go upstairs. When you hear when you see the upstairs lights go on, then you get that really scary score. Dun, 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 dun. And you see he goes in the kitchen. He picks up the knife, the large butcher knife, and sees the boyfriend leave. He goes upstairs, picks up the clown mask, and he says, Michael, and he stabs his sister to death. Then he goes back downstairs. His parents arrive. Michael takes the mask off. You see that there's a blank stare in his face, still holding the knife. And then it's 15 years later, 1978, but it's the night before Halloween. We have Dr. Loomis, played by Donald Pleasence, which I love Donald Pleasence. It's sad to know he is no longer with us. Because I love Donald Pleasence, especially he's always been other John Carpenter's other films like The Prince of Darkness and Escape from New York. And I know he played one of the James Bond villains. I forget which James Bond film he played the villain in. And yeah, but I would say Donald Pleasence. This would be his best. This and the sequel would be his best films because especially I grew up on Halloween. That was the first. Ever since I saw this one, it was the first time I ever heard of Donald Pleasence. Ever since I saw this, But that's my opinion. So, Donald Pleasence, he's driving with the nurse Marion Chambers, I believe her name was. They're driving to the institution, telling what they're gonna do when they take the judge, to give them this thing, because that is the law, So they pull up and they see all the patients are walking about, and they pull up to the front gate as Donald Pleasence gets out of the check, and then you see Michael Myers. And plus, that was another scary part for me. You see how Michael Myers, how he gets on top of the car, and he grabs it from when he's on top of the car, grabs the nurse, That was a scary part for me, too. Also, the music was also scary for me, too, how it was. That scared me, too. So, she gets in the car, and he gets and starts drives away. He's like, it's gone! The evil is gone! And then it cuts to the next day, which is Halloween. And you have young Jamie Lee Curtis as Laurie Strode. She's walking to school, Well, first she goes by the old Michael Myers house, which has now been abandoned, And you have the little kid Tommy Doyle. So that's a bad place. Bad stuff happened there, You see Michael Myers inside the house, already wearing the mask and the outfit and the overalls. He's walking away, singing to herself. You see standing behind, him breathing through the mask. And then because Donald Pleasence talking to the head of that institution, he's like, I'm not responsible, Sam. Oh please, it's old boy Bolton wouldn't stop a 5-year-old. He was your patient, doctor. I told everybody. I want you. What do you want me to do? I want you to get back in there, get back on the telephone, tell him who walked out of here last night and exactly where he's going. and and the guy says, Haddonfield is 150 miles away. For God's sake, Sam, he can't even drive a car. He said, Donald Pleasance, he was doing very well last night. Maybe somebody around here gave him lessons. It was like, Donald Pleasance is just how we did, because especially how we perform as his Doctor Who, trying to believe that this is the pure evil, that there is such a thing as pure evil, and this person is it, So as he's driving, of course, I'm getting to the scene where he's at the teleport. I'll get to this. I'll skipping ahead, jumping ahead a bit. But when Don Pleasant's getting the phone, and tell him, tell him the cops are in town. He sees a tow truck, and he sees Mike Myers' hospital nightgown has been stripped. He sees he picks up the matches that the nurse had when we were driving over there, and he cuts. And as he walks away, he cuts to to a little bit this way. It scoots this way, and you see the dead body of the mechanic truck. The dead mechanic. And then it comes when Laurie Strode was at school. She's in class. She keeps looking. There's the car that Michael Myers stole across the street, staring at her. And then the next scene, she cuts into it. She sees that it's gone. And then you see that the kid Tommy carrying a pumpkin. The three kids are bullying him. You tell him, "Leave me out. The boogeyman's gonna get him." Makes him trips him, makes him crush his pumpkin. And I like how the lead bully guy, the bully kid, he runs and he gets grabbed by Michael. Looking at him else, and he gets scared and runs away. And he's looking at Tommy. He's walking, gets in the car, starts driving slowly, and then ultimately just drives past him. Stalking. And also when Laurie Strode and her other girlfriends, Annie and Linda, they're walking and they see Michael Myers, not know who he is, still driving. They think it was like a certain guy, and he says, "Hey jerk, speed kills," and she just stops the car, comes to a screeching halt. It's like, guy, can you take a joke? So he drives away again. So, and also as Laurie Strode's walking, he sees Michael. She sees him and just steps behind the bush, and he's not there. So she gets home, looks out her bedroom window, sees him there again, where where the white sheets are, and then disappears. Then because later in the late evening, where she gets picked up, they drive up to they see Annie's father, the lead check, Charles Kiefer's, I think that's his last name, who's her father, the sheriff. Tells them there was a break in the hardware store, which is how Michael Myers got his mask, in the hardware store, which is the classic William Shatner mask painted white. Then he talks to Loomis and tells him there's something real important, just on the way. Then you see, of course, he drives away and Belfast looks the other way, misses him. So he keeps on following Laurie and Annie until it's nighttime. As Laurie goes up to the other house, and Annie goes to the other one. Hiccup. I like how he keeps on peering through windows, looking from outside, and the dog, what's his name? I forgot what the dog's name was. He goes outside and he starts barking at Michael, and he hears the dog whisper, and he's like, "Oh, never mind. Probably found a hot date." But he's but so you see the from the dog's lower half, just drops dangling, and they kill that. Indicate, I believe they choke the dog to death, but you don't see it though. Then she tries to do the laundry. Then Michael Myers appears from outside, and disappears. takes the little girl was Lindsay to the to where Laurie Strode is babysitting Tommy, and so she can pick up her boyfriend Paul. Um, she goes and gets her keys. Well, first she goes to the door. It's locked, right? And she goes and gets the keys, and she opens again. It's unlocked. And she sits in her car. She's like, then all of a sudden he appears in the back seat, starts choking her, and just cuts her throat with a knife. As because the car horn keeps on honking, And like also another funny thing that where Lindsay and Tommy are watching TV and on the TV it shows the premiere of the film. It shows the original The Thing. It was called The Thing from Another World, but it just showed The Thing. That's how the same intro that John Carpenter later used in his 1982 remake. The Thing, same opening sequence. Well, I thought it was funny because later on he directed it. But like Tommy, like he said, he believes in the boogeyman. He tries to believe it. He tries to play a little joke on Lindsay by hiding behind the curtain, saying, "Where Lindsay, Lindsay?" And as he looks back at the house, he sees Michael Myers carrying the girl inside the house. He freaks out, tells him, "Oh, the boogeyman's outside," and Jamie Lee Curtis, tells him, "There's no boogeyman out there," Also, like once again, I missed the scene again. Before Donald Pleasant's talking with the sheriff, where they go to the old Michael Myers house, tells him that where his sister was killed, it happened in here, and someone goes and throws a rock at the window, and he tells him that classic scene where he tells the sheriff, I met him 15 years ago, tells between like good or evil, right or wrong. I met this 6-year-old child with this pale, blank, emotionless face, the blackest eyes, the devil's eyes. I spent 8 years trying to reach him, and another 7 trying to keep him locked up because I realized what was living behind that boy's eyes was purely and simply evil. It's like how we say, it made you want to believe that, he was right, because that there is pure evil, this boy was pure evil once, Not once, but he still is, though. He made you believe what he was saying. I believed it, And so he goes outside. He goes down outside the house, tries to wait for him to come back. And although that was a little funny thing, where those 3 boys those 3 kids were from earlier were bullying Tommy. They wanted him to go inside. Were you scared? Then like how Donald Pleasance does a little funny things like, hey, Lie. Get your ass away from there. It scares the little kids off, and he's like smiling too. Donald Pleasance, he does have that little funny bit right there, He was a little funny at times, especially when how he was talking about from earlier talking about while he was at the back of the institution, He was funny. I really love Donald Pleasance. I miss him. Same thing with I would put it like on one of my favorite actors too list. Same thing with what I said about Dennis Hopper in my review of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, how much I miss him. I just miss all these great actors. It's too bad. I know that's life though. People die. But this is just when you watch all the films that they've been in. I haven't seen most of nearly enough as Donald Pleasance's film, but I'm saying though. But it's always good to say, you miss a certain actor and how much they did a great job in films, So, yeah. So he says, after that, I tells him the sheriff to keep on waiting. He knows. They're like, I met him watching for 15 years. See him just staring at the wall, now looking at the wall, looking past the wall, Then they have Laurie's other girlfriend, Linda, with her boyfriend Bob. They go inside the house, They go inside the house and making out, and you have where Bob goes downstairs. He gets a couple of beers, but then he hears a noise. Tells him, I think it was Linda. He opens the door. Then Michael Myers comes in, holding him, and then he lifts him up and stabs him, and he hangs there right there. And of course, there's another classic thing where Michael Myers tilts his head from one side to the other, staring at the body. And because it goes to window when Lynn is still in bed. There's another scene that scared me when Michael Myers comes in with the bedsheet over his head with the glasses. You know, just standing right there in that doorway. That really, as a kid, that really freaked me out. That really scared me to death, just seeing that. You know, him just standing there, not moving with that white sheet and the glasses over his head. You know, he just it's like, well, can you answer me? You know. So she tries to goes to call Laurie, but then Michael Myers takes the phone cord and strangles her. And he's like, Annie, he's like, but I was thinking it was Annie that was doing those jokes that she was earlier on the phone. It's like, I'll kill you, this is a joke, and then you see Michael Myers is still just putting the phone to his ear, listening. And then the next cousin to Donald Pleasance, he sees the car that he drove, and then Dolores Strode, she decides to go walk to the house. It's all dark, you know, calling their names out, and she goes upstairs, opens the bedroom, and sees the dead body of Annie there with the gravestone. Because earlier, off screen, Michael Myers took the gravestone with her sister's name, Judith Myers, and so he took that gravestone and put it right there over the bed with the dead body of Annie just laying like this. So she screams and sees the other two dead bodies. Michael Myers stabs, kind of cuts her arm here, and she falls over the balcony, tumble downstairs, and then it goes to that da da, you know, that classic score too. And he's walking down the stairs, gets in the kitchen, locks the door. He breaks the door with his hand, unlocks it. She gets out of the house, screaming, "Help me, help me!" Gets to the house, and she throws a pot to get Tommy's attention. He opens the door. Since they saw that Michael Myers got through another opening through the window, and she grabs one of the things, you know, where you knit scarves and stuff like that with sweaters. She gets one of those knitting needles. He comes up from behind the couch, and she stabs him in the neck with it. And he falls down, thinking he's dead. Tells the kids, "Killed him," you know. You can't kill the boogeyman. He's right. They scream, and he's right there again. She hides in the closet. He tries to open it, but it just breaks through. Gets to that was another creepy scene where as he breaks through, and all of a sudden he sees him. Just all of a sudden the light just turns on. Just with his arm there, you know, seeing the mask. That was another scary part right there for me. As a kid, that scared me. Especially it also scared me how he was breathing through the mask. He was like, you know. She stabs him with a piece of a wire hanger and takes his knife and stabs him. Tells the kids to go across to call the police. And I also creepy there how you see how he's behind Laurie. He's lying there, and all of a sudden he just gets up like this, just like that. Donald Pleasance is outside. He sees the kids scream. He thinks there's some inside the house. He tries to strangle her, and that's the one that takes his mask off. And that was the only time you really throughout the series, except for Rob Zombie's Halloween film, you know, except for Rob Zombie's Halloween, except for Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, throughout the entire series. That was the only one scene where you see Michael Myers' full face. Even also as a kid, you know, seeing how his just got one look at his face that scared me too. How his face looked, you know, you know. So he puts the mask on. Donald Pleasance shoots him. Bang, bang, bang. He falls off the balcony. Falls laying flat on the lawn. And another classic line dialogue, Jamie Curtis was the boogeyman. Donald Pleasance, as a matter of fact, it was. And he looks over and sees that he's gone. Then you have the great musical score playing. He knows that he's gone and looks, and you hear, and it cuts through to the different scenes from the houses, and you hear Michael Myers still breathing through his mask. And then, so yeah, John Carpenter's Halloween, one of the greatest horror films of all time, pure classic. Those are all on the list of films that really scare me. Well, the films I believe that really scared me was this film, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I know that there was a couple of other horror films that scared me, like one or two more. Just can't name them on the top of my head. Can't name them, think of them on the top of my head right now. But I know the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre and this film scared me. Being honest on that, especially Texas Chainsaw Massacre, it didn't scare me when I was a little kid, but this did. This film really really freaked me out when I was a kid. You know, this film, especially how Michael Myers was. You know, the score, and yeah, it even says here one of the scariest films of all time, scariest movies of all time. Halloween was, and ever shall be the alpha and omega of boogeyman flicks from Entertainment Weekly. Good, very good. The disc one for features. The disc one only has a commentary with John Carpenter and Jamie Lee Curtis and producer Deborah Hill. Disc 2 has a lot of features in Halloween a cut above the rest, and it has a full 87-minute documentary featuring interviews with John Carpenter, Jamie Lee Curtis, PJ Souls, who played Linda, the girlfriend that was strangled. Even PJ Souls, she was also later before Halloween she appeared in Carrie as one of the schoolgirls. Also with Charles Cyphers, who was Sheriff Brackett, and Nick Castle, who played Michael Myers. I remember seeing a documentary for one scene, Tommy Lee Wallace, who was, I believe he was the editor and production designer of the film, which he would later on direct Stephen King's It, Fright Night Part 2, and also Halloween 3: Season of the Witch. But I remember one scene that he played Michael Myers, where in the play Michael Myers, I think it was the one scene where he comes out of the darkness and stabs Jamie Lee Curtis in the arm before she falls over the stairs. I think that one scene that was Tommy Lee Wallace playing Michael Myers. I believe the most of the film, I think Nick Castle played Michael Myers. Also on the documentary was also producer Deborah Hill, director of photography Dean Cundy, and also editor and production designer Tommy Lee Wallace. Also has a 10-minute feature. Also has an all-new 10-minute feature with actress PJ Souls, producer Deborah Hill on the location 25 years later, revisiting the original Michael Myers house. Trailer, TV spots, video spots, and poster still gallery. That's about it. And the 87-minute documentary is pretty good. Especially for after 25 years, you know. So, what can I say? John Carpenter's Halloween. I always be this would be his best film. Always will be, especially how really to think John Carpenter, you know, because he made such a great classic, you know, especially how it did me as a kid, you know, scared me, which means how really good it was. He directed, I was a John Carpenter. He has also directed many classic films, even though there's only like a couple that I didn't like. Especially I love Assault on Precinct 13, Prince of Darkness, In the Mouth of Madness, Ghost of Mars. One of the ones I didn't really care for was Memoirs of the Invisible Man and The Ward. I think those were probably the couple ones I didn't really care for. Also, I love Escape from L.A. Oh, and also, no, actually, wait, no, this is I would say I was wrong. I would say this would be also this is the next review I'm gonna be doing. I'm reviewing John Carpenter's best film. That was my mistake. This would be his second best film. Even though is it the scariest movie that I really love? Yes, but it's my second favorite horror film of all time. But the next review I'm going to be doing is my all-time favorite horror film and John Carpenter's best film. So thanks for watching, and if there's any other stuff that I missed, I'll just say on later on in other reviews indicating that it's stuff I missed. So, but anyway, this is John Carpenter's Halloween, and after I review my last video I will do for today, and then I'll begin working on this franchise. So thanks for watching, and take care. I'll see you on the next review.